Hello, Jason. How you doing?
Hey, Chris, thanks for talking to us here in beautiful British Columbia.
I love Vancouver.
You know what? I was at your first North American show at the Commodore, and I've seen you
Oh,
many
you
other
really?
times. And I remember how nervous you were that night.
Yeah.
And now look at you. How do you get over that? How do you get over the fear
Wait,
of performing?
you were really at that first? That was our first North American show ever.
I was at that show.
I thought I recognized you. So, hey, thanks for coming to that, man. That was, and Richard Ashcroft was opening, I think.
Yes, he played the next night, and I saw you guys at that show. You guys were at that solo show the next night.
That's right. He played a solo show the next night. That's what it was.
And he crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
When you think of that show, like I just, if I'm putting myself in your shoes, that was obviously a nerve-wracking night. How do you get from that point to where you are now and you can waltz into a stadium like you've done here and other places around the world and just feel and look so confident?
Well, that's very sweetly put. I'm glad it looks like we're waltzing in. I think that what it really takes is absolute passion, absolute devotion, and real perseverance and practice and refining. And, I think if you're lucky enough to do that circuit all the way from small clubs all the way up, you get so much experience on the way. Like if you put anyone into a stadium straight away, it would be impossible. But with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of practice, by the time you're there, you don't even notice that it's become that, really. It's still the same. You're still trying to give the same thing.
And do you still have a nervous energy or some kind of a aura before you walk on?
Yeah, but I've done so much in the intervening years, so much work on myself and technical stuff, and of course, new songs keep coming. And really, what makes the shows possible is the songs. So that's really what's playing the stadium. It's not the people so much as the songs. So as long as I'm able to physically sing those, I don't worry too much.
Well, we can't wait to hear you perform your new song. Why don't you tell us about Higher Power, which is available now?
Yeah. Higher Power is a song that we've been sitting on now for a few months till the time was right, until everything was, it just feels like the right time to put it out. I'm not very good at saying what songs are about, but I will say that it's sort of the beginning of a chapter where we have just abandoned all rules and constraints in favor of just singing very freely about how we feel about life and the cosmos and love, and not having any musical limitations or not trying to limit ourselves to one stylistic box or pigeonhole. So in a strange way, we feel under no pressure. So it's very liberating.
Yeah, like how did you hook up with Max Martin? Are you walking down the street and you guys bump into each other, or had you had a previous relationship and
Oh, well,
wanted
we
to
did
work?
bump into each other. You're absolutely right. We bumped into each other in Sweden and at a Rihanna concert. And then we just got along very well. And of course, he's him. So we loved his work. And then I said to the rest of the band, I'd really like to work with Max, thinking they'd be like, no way, it's too pop. But they were the opposite. They were like, no, he's really legit, because he is. And then in a strange way, we sort of meshed into one band. So right now he's like the longest haired band member we've had for some time.
That's awesome. Because we all know songs that he's worked on, and I love hearing that there's a vulnerability, I guess, to allow yourself to do whatever you want, and that has to be really freeing as an artist for you and the band, right?
Yeah, and I think what's cool about that being in conjunction with finding Max is that you know that there's enough of a taste circle. It's not going to be anything too terrible, hopefully.
No.
Otherwise, it won't make it out of that circle. So I don't know, man. It's just been, I feel so blessed that he came into our lives. It feels like what the band had been heading towards for a long time. And right now it just feels like just really right.
Good. I'm glad. I'm excited, man. Like this, I've heard the song, and I want you to talk about Planet Chaotica.
Okay.
What is it?
Well, Chaotica is a place some distance away. And it's principally covered in trash from the surrounding planets. Some people think it's not real. Some of us know different. And that's where we shot our first video. And that's some of the teasers for this song have been in their language, Chaotican. And it's just been amazing to hook up with that community. I'm
excited, and I wish I could ask you to teach me a catchphrase in Chaotican.
Yes, I can't, because I'm still learning to speak it myself.
One of the other things I want to talk about is the Worthy Farm gig you're going to be doing. So you're going to be playing for lots of us watching at home. We're really excited about that. How does that make you feel to know that you and the band can perform again? And back to the start of our conversation, giving us this new song live in concert.
Well, Glastonbury, Worthy Farm, is like our spiritual home, at least on Earth. And of course, there's no people there this year, which is slightly different. But funnily enough, between you and me, and I've probably said this to a couple of other people over the years, but a number of times before we were going to play that summer in Glastonbury, I've gone down in the winter to climb the pyramid. There's a pyramid structure there. To climb the pyramid and just kind of feel it out. Like, okay, what are we going to do? So I'm actually familiar with it as a farm, which is really what we're playing this year. We're essentially playing a show on a farm, and it just happens to be Glastonbury Festival. So we're just psyched to be able to play together. Of course, the large part of what makes that exciting is missing, which is people. But I don't know, there's something about the fact that we're able to go there this year that even that is special in itself. Yeah,
like you're going somewhere that you've just said that feels like a spiritual place. So that has to give you some kind of a, energy, whatever that is, when you're playing with Damon and Haim and everybody else on that bill. It's going to be fun. It feels like we're taking the shackles off, and we'll eventually be able to see you in a stadium next year.
Well, that would be wonderful, Jason. And I hope that manifests. I think that right now we're grateful for whatever we're able to do. And that's a cool thing coming up.
Chris, I appreciate your time today.
Thanks for being there from day one.
Yes, sir.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye-bye, Jason. Thank you.
102.7 The Peak, Alternative Vancouver.